Step in. Tune in. Lights up. We begin.
In Motion presents The Sports Lab, where we discuss all things sports performance, with Sian Thomason, sports podiatrist, and Damien Walsh, sports performance coach.
This is The Sports Lab.
Hi Sian, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. You?
All good, thank you. So let's tell everyone how we met.
We started doing a bit more on social media at the same time. So I think we were kind of noticing each other's careers changing, and we had a little chat and realised that we have quite a lot of people we know in common. So I think that kind of sparked off an idea that we could work together to help other people and bring our two professions together.
Okay, so how do you get to the point you are at now?
So I started obviously way back when I was at school, and after considering a career in dentistry for a while, I changed my mind and decided to do a degree in podiatry. So I did my undergraduate degree at Northampton University, and when I was coming to the end of that degree, I decided I might want to specialise again within that, because it opened my eyes to what podiatry was about. So I think generally when I started, I didn't really know what was involved in it. So I started looking into surgery. So podiatric surgery really interested me. So when I left university, I actually then did my master's in podiatric surgery and specialised within that field for a long time, long part of my career, 13 years pretty much on and off of my NHS career post all my qualifications in some kind of area of podiatric surgery. And then when I had my daughter, my first child, 10 years ago, decided, A, it was time for change, and B, I'm not sure it was a job that was suitable for, not suitable, but difficult, shall we say, to do with small children. So I decided to give up my NHS career altogether and just go back to my basic podiatry degree that I used, and opened a clinic out of a GP surgery 10 years ago. Just opened the door one day, kind of hoped for the best, and it's grown from there. So we are now 10 years later. We have 2 clinics that are full. So there is me and 3 other podiatrists, and we are really busy, which is fantastic. Subsequently, from working in private practice, I noticed the interest in sports podiatry and predominantly runners, and the injuries they were coming to me with and the help they required. So that kind of piqued my interest, and decided to look a little bit more, or quite a lot more actually, into sports podiatry and particularly running podiatry. And it kind of sparked from a couple of patients, a couple of interesting conversations I had with some very interesting runners, and they intrigue me. You know, runners really intrigue me. People have got some really interesting stories out there, and I was just really keen to find out more, I guess. So it kind of started from there, really, and it spiraled, hasn't it? You know, like things do. You start with one person that knows you for something, and then they recommend you to someone else, and it kind of goes from there. So it's grown and grown to where we are now, with us expanding and starting a running lab. So we'll be a bit more dedicated to that, I'm sure. Information on that will come out in good time.
That's good to hear. Have you ever had any difficulties with your own feet, gait, biomechanical issues?
Yes and no. I am about probably the only sports related what do you call it, specialist, I suppose, that doesn't run. So it really confuses everyone. I you know, I love running and I love the process of running, but I don't run myself. Yeah. But that does stem predominantly from a quite significant back injury that I have, that I had when I was a child and stays with me. So running is never going to be the sport for me, because I can't put the force through my back. So it kind of does. I don't have any real day-to-day issues. Well, I do, but I can manage it as long as I don't run. So that's really where my background comes from, but maybe you can tell us a bit more about you.
At school, I was very sporty. I did every sport you could imagine, represented the school. Our school wasn't really known for being good at sport, but I did represent the school at pretty much everything from tennis, basketball, rounders, athletics, football, and occasionally rugby, even though I don't know the first thing about rugby. But it's just because I was all-round athletic. Following school, I did sports and recreation studies. I think that was like a city and guilds. And then that moved on to sports and exercise science. Following that, I got a job in a gym as like a teenager. I had to be up at 4 o'clock every morning. I had to be starting work at 5 a.m. every day. I was on that bare minimum wage. And to be fair, all of those studies and everything that I'd learnt, and all I seemed to be doing was cleaning equipment and cleaning the floor and cleaning the toilets. And, you know, I guess that's when these new young people come through the door, you know, they have to earn their stripes to be able to like actually work directly with the clients and the customers that do enter the gym. And I guess I was just like too young to be maybe taken seriously at that point. And during that time, I wasn't like very wealthy at all. So I had an opportunity to become an electrical engineer. My granddad was an engineer and I spent a lot of time with him growing up. So it was like kind of natural for me to move into. So I went and studied to become an electrical engineer alongside a full apprenticeship. From my 20s to 30s, I was like a mobile engineer. Sport, like I left by the wayside a little bit. I was still like playing football for like Whittam Town and Malden Town on and off. By the time I got to 30, I was quite a lot overweight. I had become a different person to the person that I grew up to be. I think that one of the first one was I realised that I looked at some photos and I was like, I didn't recognise myself. So I was like, I need to change things. So I joined the gym, and after like 2 or 3 weeks at the gym, there was a guy called Louis, and he just invited, he knew how hard I was working in the gym, and he's like, I'd come and try the boxing class. So I went and tried the boxing class 2 or 3 times a week and really enjoyed that. And then I see an opportunity to box locally on a charity show. I'd never boxed in my life, and I thought, oh, that sounds like a good challenge. Whilst like doing the boxing, my dad invited me to some park runs, and then I got into running through park runs. I lost like 4 stone, or just under 4 stone in that time, just become fitter, healthier, just started picking up on all of those habits that I knew I should have, but I just let like go while I was being an engineer. And obviously we started a family in my mid-20s as well. So like with you, life takes a different turn, and you kind of have to like find yourself again. With all of this, and especially with the running, I just got more and more into sports performance, and just like there's all this new terminology that I'd never really remembered from studying sports and exercise science, which is like VO2 max, lactate threshold, and the reason why strength and conditioning is important to support sports performance. That's what led me to then renew sports qualifications, and I'm still studying now. And I just believe that when you're into sports, and I guess it's the same with you, with your career, is you never really know it all, and that's the exciting thing. There's always something new to learn, or a new study, or a new revelation, or new technologies that we can use to track and to improve how we look at sports performance. So yeah, now I'm like heavily involved with like running performance. I now coach, like in terms of sports performance, I coach like a local football team, which my son plays for. I help out with the athletics with him as well. He's doing really well. So it's like I'm using something that I grew up interested in to support my son while I'm also studying more to become like more of a strength and conditioning coach as well. And that's how I guess we met. Is I've started in motion because I felt like I was always doing everything for everyone else and supporting their brands, but I didn't really have anything for myself. I just wanted to create something that would be supportive of people's sports, whether they're runners, athletes, rugby players, cyclists. I wanted to like develop something where it could be supportive of, it's almost like secondary to their main sport, but it's just supportive, and like realising how important strength and conditioning is to someone for their sport. I mean, like we've spoken about some runners that we know where they don't really do much strength and conditioning at all, but they're amazing runners. But some people physiologically and biologically are able and capable to not have to need all of this sports strength and conditioning, but generally it's just a good habit to be in, and the older you get, the more you do have to focus on strength. So that's kind of what's got me to here, and that's what's got us to this podcast.
Yeah, I think the strength and conditioning is really important, and I think I did a poll yesterday on Instagram because everyone I saw yesterday, however many runners I saw yesterday, I can't remember, 8 say. I think I asked every single one of them if they stretched before and after running, and what their strength training was, and every single one of them didn't have either of those. and they're coming to me with biomechanical problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get the fanciest trainers in the world, right? And that makes a huge difference. I know that. But you could run, I've got ultramarathoners that run, super distances. But without the strength behind it, you're going to end up with an injury at some point, whether that's now in 5 years' time. But there will be an injury. Like, I can almost put money on it.
There's a lot that goes into sports performance. So yeah, you have like training stage, and then you have a performance stage, like the result or the day that they compete. So like in training, they should wear and act like they need to keep going and keep doing it. Not every day is the day that you have to show up and be the best and be the fastest and be the sharpest, but every day you should care about your body before, during and after whatever workout you're doing or completing. Things do change on performance day. You might want to wear the fastest trainer. You might want to wear shorts that are not necessarily super comfortable to wear, but fast, and a vest that costs £70, which weighs nothing compared to a vest that might cost £10 to £15 that you can feel on you. Just those like little percentages that you wouldn't do when you're training, but when you're like racing or performing, just for that short amount of time where you need maximum goal, maximum performance, I guess things do change. So you wouldn't necessarily, or it wouldn't be advised to train in a race shoe.
Absolutely not. Absolutely. Anyone that knows me at all will know that I will be very negative about that. No, absolutely. You must have. I mean, we will do a whole chat about trainers and different trainers because it's such a long, complex, specific issue. So let's do that another time.
Okay, so we'll wrap this up for this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
A nice introduction to both myself, Damien, and Sian.
Yeah, and we look forward to next time. More chat about trainers.